Welcome back to more Tip Time with DJ Bakovitz. Now we're going to start off with the Dark Worlds. So as you can see, this is my Dark World deck build, and there's my extra deck. So we'll start off with the main deck. First off, I personally suggest you run Graphas, just because they can keep getting their effects. Like if they are discarded, you can destroy a card effect. You can destroy a card on your opponent's side of the field. Also, his secondary effect isn't really needed, just because like his first effect's good enough. Plus, like he can come back every time you have a Dark World on your side of the field. So what I'm trying to say here is he's worth running. He's so broken to the fact that you can keep running him back as long as you have a Dark World on your field, and he's hard to kill. So you have to banish him to get rid of him. Green's always good to run because of the fact that he destroys spells or traps on the field just by discarding them. Now I'm going to give you a heads up before I continue here. I only have 2 ban cards in this deck. That makes this an OTK deck. Just because of the fact that it's Graceful Charity and Painful Choice. Because of the fact that they run very well in this deck. Anyways, back to the subject. Oh boy. Anyways, use this effect really well. You can keep running back from the graveyard for an XZ summon. But you need like 3 level 2s for an XZs on this deck. Khaki does the same thing as green, except it's just monster. It's pretty good to some extent if you can pull it off. So yeah, just be careful of that. Gates of Dark World is a must-have. It increases your offense and defense of your Dark Worlds, and it can even work with Fiends. It works with any Fiend deck. So you can pretty much use it in anything that's a Fiend. Also, I like to point out that you can banish a card, just draw 1 card. So pretty much gives you draw power as well. Beige is just a summon of effect. Not much to explain because a lot of people are familiar with Beige. I'm not going to explain him. Now, cards like Destruction Jammer cannot give Dark Worlds their effect because it's a cost. Dark Worlds only get their effects when they're discarded by a cost. When they're not discarded by a cost. Only Fableds get those effects. Dark Worlds can't get their effects by cost. Now, another card to run in here is Forced Requisition. It pretty much forces your opponent to discard as well. It's worth it. Combine that with Magical Thorns, and they take damage for each card discarded, so keep that in mind. Use it. Scar's a good card. It allows you to search for a level 4 lower Dark World. It's just running 3 of those, because you can also use those for overlays. Fine. Just a discard effect. Get Dark Worlds their effects, and it's not a cost. Dark World Shackles is in there for a good reason. Only because of the fact that you can make your opponent's monster attack 100. It's almost like a Mask of Restrict, except it has an extra ability, which means it gives your opponent's attack and defense 100. So yeah, it's like an added effect of Mask of Mask of the Accursed, sorry. Oops, why am I putting that one? No one needs to see Painful Choice. Braun, Mad King of Dark World. Now, he's good for discarding when he inflicts damage. You can discard, and then if you get the right card to discard, get that proper effect, and then etc, blah, blah, blah. Not a cost. Card Destruction. Now, this is not a cost. It's a mandatory effect. Yeah, so everyone knows what Card Destruction does, but I suggest running it even though it's at 1 at the moment. Dark Smog. Great card in a Dark World deck. Also can be used in a Fable deck, sorry, my mind's somewhere else today. You can pretty much utilize this very well with Dark Worlds. Just discard a Fiend, get its effect, and then banish a card in your opponent's graveyard, I think. Yeah. I suggest running like at least 2 of those. 2 or 3 of those. Snow. Snow's effect isn't that good, but I just use it. I just bring it out as just to attack. That's all I do with it. Drag down in the grave. This is a great card. You not only discard a card from the hand, but you also get a draw in the process. So it's good for some points when you can actually damage, do some massive stuff, etc., etc. Ceruli. I usually just play this in defense. Just play this as a decoy card, just so your opponent won't know what's getting hit. So that way, if they use creature swap or change a heart if they're playing traditional, they won't know what it is. So it's great for using as decoy. Dark World Lightning. Now I suggest running Dark World Lightning. To destroy a face down. So if you discard a green, you can destroy an extra spell or trap that turn if you choose spell or trap for Dark World Lightning. Or you can use it on a monster. What do I care? It's good for monsters. I run 3 of them. Gold. This is a great summoning card. Discard him, summon him, game over pretty much. Dark World Dealings can be used. It's pretty much the same as Drag Down to the Grave, except its effects are opposite. So, Extricate, great against decks that have an extra deck. If you can sideboard this if you want. Pretty worth it, because if you get the effect, if you don't get it right, then you can discard a card from your hand. And regardless, you're getting a discard effect if you miss, or if your opponent uses these. Gateway to Dark World. Go ahead and run this. Brings back the Dark World. Usually I use it on my opponent's turn during their end phase, so that way I can summon on my next turn. I run 3 of them, so I suggest you do too. Everyone knows what compulsory does, so don't even ask. Forces of Darkness. Now this is a great card to use. You pretty much get to return 2 Dark Worlds in your graveyard to your hand, so that's all it does. Magical Thorn, there we go. Combo this with Force Requisition. Your opponent takes 500 damage for each card discarded. So if you discard 5 cards from their hand, they take 25 off the bat. So keep that in mind. Silva. Similar to Gold, nothing much. Just summons himself. Brow. Brow just gives you draw power, but it also gives you 2 draws if your opponent discards it. But regardless, you're going to get draw power. That's all it's doing. Is that it for this part of the deck? Oh, Mind Crush. Now, Mind Crush is essential in this deck, just because of the fact that you can guess a card in your opponent's hand. If they have it, they discard it. If not, you discard. So if you use that, you can discard a card from their hand and just kill them like crazy. Next up, we have the Seas Monsters. I run 3 number 96s. Now, these can counter a lot of high-attacking monsters. I once used it against Odin, and Odin got himself killed. Because the guy put his Odin down to 100 because of a card effect. Because I cut Odin's attack to begin with, and so he killed himself against Dark Mist. And also, I like to note that the reason why I run these is because his effect is permanent. Even if he runs it at overlays, his attack stays the combined attack of what he gained. So running it's a good idea, so I suggest it. Anyways, I'll do it for this part, and I'll keep in touch with me. If you got any questions or comments, just let me know, and I'll review them as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.